Hi folks, it's Cassie here from GreenSock. In this video we're going to step through the new container animation feature which is included in the 3.8 release. Container animation allows us to create scroll-triggered animations within a container that's moved using the animated horizontal scroll technique. Now that's quite a sentence, so before we dig into this new property, let's take a little look at the difference between native horizontal scroll and the animated horizontal scroll technique. So in this demo, we're using the browser's native horizontal scroll. It's definitely the easiest way to do horizontal scrolling, and it works really nicely with ScrollTrigger too. All we have to do is let ScrollTrigger know that we're scrolling horizontally. But this behavior isn't always ideal. Let's add in some sections above and below the horizontally scrolling section. So with these panels added above and below the horizontal scrolling section, we've ended up with a mixture of vertical scroll and horizontal scroll. Now this can be confusing because we have to stop and alter our scroll behavior. It can also render the section inaccessible for people that are using mouse wheels to scroll. So we can get around this by using the animated horizontal scroll technique. Using the animated horizontal scroll technique, we only need to scroll down vertically and we get this nice combination of vertical scroll and horizontal scroll. It's actually pretty clever, so let's take a little look at how this works. You'll notice that when the top of the horizontally scrolling section hits the top of the viewport, we're pinning it, and then we're animating the section along the x-axis. There's some important things to note here that we're doing to make the animation feel natural. We've got ease set to none. This makes sure that the progress is evenly distributed over time. We're also calculating the end trigger position based on the container width in order to make sure that the scroll feels natural. So this is great, but you'll notice that our box animation is no longer working. We're not using the browser's native scroll anymore, so horizontal true has no effect. This is where container animation comes in. So let's get rid of horizontal true, we don't need that anymore. And let's create our first container animation. First we need to store a reference to the tween that handles the animated horizontal scroll. And then once we have that, we can pass that animation into other tweens or timelines as the container animation. So if we scroll along now, our box tween should be working. Amazing, so it's like a nested animation inside a ScrollTriggered section. So we can use a lot of the properties that we're familiar with normal ScrollTriggered animations. Let's add markers true. Now if we scroll along, we can see where the start and end triggers are for the animation. So we can see that as the animation starts, it plays, and then on leave back, it's reversing. If we wanted to instead tie the animation to the scroll progress, we could use scrub true. Now if we scroll along, we can see that the animation is scrubbed using the scroll bar. We can also use properties like toggle class to add a class when the animation is active. And we can also use all the callbacks that you're familiar with. Let's take a little look at onEnter. Make sure to see the docs for more information. We hope this new feature will unlock a whole world of possibilities for your scroll-triggered animations. We look forward to seeing what you make. Enjoy your new animation superpowers and happy tweening!